Today on the channel, we'll be unboxing the progenitor of progenitors. The demons so mean they made him green. The first draft of the King of Sass. Here on... Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Newman, and today we'll be unboxing Mattel Creations Masters of the Universe Origins Demoman. Mattel Creations Demoman is a 1/12 scale figure. It measures 6 inches tall, features over 16 points of evil articulation, includes 3 interchangeable heads, comes with 2 weapons, a sword, and a morning star, and also includes a mini-comic. Now, as of filming this video, the Demoman figure was actually still in stock. However, as of editing this video, it is no longer in stock. So, you see those 2 figures I just threw away? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they've been magically transported to the magical land of Newman Collectibles on Mercari.com. That is my selling site. Now, I don't have it up there right now, but I should in just a little bit. I'll leave a link to the main page of the site and the description below, so you can purchase one if you are interested after this review. But the big question is it actually worth purchasing? Let's find out. Alright, and here we've got the figure in hand. We've got some lovely collector-friendly packaging going on here. The evil spirit of Despondos. Very cool. Demoman. Retro play. Lovely. Got some awesome artwork on the back of it, so I don't know. May not want to throw this particular thing away. Maybe I'll just keep it in the package after I do this review. At this point on, I should be able to leave my box cutter behind and just sort of get this thing out of the package. Here's the mini comic, front, as well as the back. Get out of here. Got the weapons. Got some, we got some tape. And here is the figure itself. Looking good. Color pops. Really nice. Looks like there are actually some tie downs on the wrists and the ankles. Let's get that out of there. But I don't think I'm really going to break out an X-Acto knife. Let's just get this thing ripped out. And it is in there tight. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, and here we go. Here's a figure in hand. Alright, looks good. Feels good. Here's the back. And the front. Okay. Looks pretty cool. Let's check out the articulation. So head goes all the way around. Wow, the beard does not get in the way, so that's good. Arms go up to about here, you know, your typical origins. We've got single joint at the elbows, which are super duper tight. Right, looks like that wrist collar is actually part of the sculpt, so we can't take that off. We've got a waist twist that the, you know, that, I don't know. That potato sack he's wearing doesn't get in the way of. We've got single joints at the knees. He does a pretty decent split, to be perfectly honest. You've got, you know, movement at the ankles, which is pretty good. I wish it were a little bit tighter. There is a boot cut, as your normal origins would generally have. And you've got articulation in the ankles with your typical monster feet. Okay. Alright, so articulation is pretty standard for the origins. I'm not a big fan of how his shoulder armor kind of moves around a lot. I know why they made it a separate piece from his potato sack. So, you know, you can get some customization going on. But I don't know, it seems a little loose. Same with the armband on the right-hand side. Let's check out his accessories. Let's check out the heads first. So we've got an Alcala Skeletor head, which is in there super duper tight. Let me tell you. It was actually kind of a struggle to get that thing out of there. Had to edit out a lot of struggling and swears, to be perfectly honest. But you know, it's a good looking sculpt. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the exact same sculpt for the Target 2-pack that had Kronos and Keldor. Here we've got an evil warrior head. I mean, I guess. I don't know the backstory very well of Demoman. Only that he was merged with Keldor to make Skeletor, so I don't know where this particular head sculpt falls into place. It might just be a nice little extra thing. Here we've got the weapons pack. Let's get this out of the plastic. And here we've got his sword, which is a very nice design. It's all one color, as most Origin weapons are. Not a lot of paint detail on them, but it's all good. Here we got his morning star, which is a lot heavier than I was expecting. Looks all right. Looks good. Again, all one color. pearlized silver. All right, so let's take a look at this figure and let's try out these different head sculpts. It's going to take this head off, put the Alcala Skeletor head on, and that Skeletor head is a really tight fit. All right, so here we go. So the color actually does match pretty well because his skull is both a yellow and a green. But I don't know about the color of his hood. It's purple. I don't think it quite fits. This head seems a little too small. I mean, it looks better if you put the head down like that, but if you have it up, his neck looks a little too thick. It's fine. It's okay, though. Let's go ahead and test the weapons in his hand. Start off with the sword. Get that in there. And it's a pretty good fit. Not too bad. Let's check out the Morning Star in his other hand. We're going to get that in here. And now the Morning Star, now I cut out a little bit, but it's actually slightly heavy. It does weigh his hand down a little bit. So you may want to have it positioned where it's towards the ground, his Morning Star, because it is a little heavier than what his hand can support, unfortunately. And again, that armband on the right-hand side with the spike, it really does keep falling down. That's unfortunate. Take a look underneath his potato sack so you can see his undies. It's the same color as his potato sack. Potato sack is removable. It's got those clips that the armor for most MOTU figures have. And let's take off his head so we can remove his shoulder armor, see how he looks without that. And that looks really good. I honestly think I might prefer this look without the shoulder armor. I don't know. This looks very barbarian. I don't know. I really like this. I think I like this a little better. I do wish the belt on his potato sack was a different color. It's all the same color, which is fine, I guess, but I wish it was maybe a darker brown, or darker red, rather. Now, I don't have the Classics Demoman, but I do have Origin Skeletor, which I guess is the closest thing to a comparison that I can kind of do for this figure. So here we are up close and personal, and as you can see, the green for Demoman kind of resembles the green shading in Skeletor's skull face. So you've got some options for swapping heads. And speaking of swapping heads, let's try the Alcala head on my Origin Skeletor. The purple doesn't quite match. The purple's a little bit darker. I think that purple might actually be closer to the Origin Stranger Things collab that I've been seeing in Target. Because I know that Skeletor has a more of a toned down look. And here you can see the head comparisons right here. Interestingly, the teeth on the Alcala Skeletor are a different color than his face. They're a white, so I guess this Skeletor practices good oral hygiene. Also, I do like how the red eyes pick up the light when reflected. It adds a creepiness factor to it, so that's pretty good. Let's check out the Bone Soldier head on Skeletor. And I think this looks really good. This looks like you could make some pretty good customizable bone warriors for Skeletor. Yeah, I like this. Or add this head to Battle Armor Skeletor and you got a cool new look for him. But back to Demoman. So let's see if we can get him into some action poses. You know, you can't do too much with the Origins figures. They do have limited articulation, but you can do some stuff. The battle armor does get in the way though. Like you see how it rides up when you try and get his shoulders up. I don't know if I like that in particular. So yeah, I think I'm going back to my original thought that the potato sack look without the shoulder armor might be the best look for this figure. But that's just my personal opinion. The shoulder armor is fine. I just don't like how it rides up like that. I can live with it though. Okay, final thoughts. I think this is a pretty good figure. I like the design of it. I like the color use that they have. I like that neon green that they're using. It really pops. The face sculpt is pretty good. I don't see a lot of paint slop everywhere. I do like the spikes on the wrist collars. The weapons are decent. The sword is better than the Morning Star, however. Mostly because the Morning Star just weighs down the wrist of the figure, which is pretty unfortunate. I'm not a big fan of the bicep band on the right that has the spike because it keeps falling down. I wish they could have done something maybe a little bit better with that. The shoulder armor is fine. I just don't like how it rides up when you try and move the arms above chest level. I do like the texture of the armor, however, and the texture of the potato sack. It looks like real cloth. Despite the fact that the sash in the middle of his belt, I feel like that should have been a different color. I feel like maybe that was a missed opportunity. Articulation is decent, however, the lower portion is just slightly too loose for my liking. He's not collapsing, I just wish he was just a little bit tighter. I think the extra heads that we get with this figure are pretty good. The Alcala Skeletor is pretty decent. I do like the jeweled eyes for it, but if you already have the 2-pack Kronos and Keldor figure, you probably already have this head sculpt. The Bone Soldier head is pretty good. I do wish there was a wash on it though. The face is just a little too boring for my taste. It needed a little bit of shading. Now, here's the thing. When I was first unboxing this thing, before I started editing, I thought, you know what, this figure would be great for customizers. It's still in stock. It hasn't sold out yet on Mattel Creations. There are a lot of really good parts that you can mix and match with your evil figures. Don't get me wrong, I do think this is a pretty good figure. However, I think the parts themselves lends itself to better creations for people who like to mix and match and swap, or even repaint and resculpt their figures. I kind of think the parts of this figure are better than the sum. Now, this is just my personal opinion. I'm an amateur at this. I'm not an expert whatsoever. I'm just a guy who's got a little bit of extra money who likes to collect toys. So take my word with a grain of salt, as you should with any reviewer. There's no toy reviewer school. No one gets a degree in toy reviews. If you think this figure looks good, go out and get it if you can. It's probably going to have to be on the aftermarket, because again, it has finally sold out on Mattel Creations. So I mean, if you're just doing this thing like collecting part-time and you don't really have a lot of money, the army building thing is probably not going to be an option. But if you do have a little bit of extra money and you can afford to buy it on the aftermarket, go out and get it. And again, full disclosure, I am going to be selling this figure on Newman Collectibles on Mercari. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Like, you know, that may have colored my review as well. Maybe I'm just saying that it's good, so you buy it. So, I bet you don't know what to think now, do you? And with that ominous ending, I am Rip It Open at Newman on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, all the socials. Come and find me. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, hit the bell for notifications, and I will check you later.